Yeah, there's some nice carnage right there.
There's the damage right there. As soon as we get underneath the car, real obvious where the leak is coming from. He's tagged a few things with this flange. He's hit the header down here. That's got to be getting thin. So he's been pushing on the car.
Yeah, it doesn't help that it's lowered. It's all set up for performance. So this stuff is pretty normal. But I think we've gone to the point where we've damaged it enough, and if you look closely, we've got not only some road rage from hitting the road, but we've got some thick flanges on the back, which is nice, but these front flanges on the headers, you just can't get a good solid push, you know, between the two halves. So instead of fighting with this thing forever, trying to Band-Aid it, repair it, it's probably going to be easier. Yeah. Not just replace, but upgrade. Yeah, so let's get the headers out. We'll dump those down. Because we've got some good friends, let's go ahead and throw on a nice, bigger, diameter midsection here. So let's go ahead and get this thing breathing better and sounding better and making some power. How many plugs you got out there already?
I got 3, only one more and it'll be good.
All right, I'm going to steal your tools in a second. Now we got the midsection out, so that's going to leave the headers open to start dropping those out. So of course we got to go to the top side, start taking the bolts out. But there's a few other things you might want to get out of your way just to make the whole job easier. Yeah, man, like spark plugs. You don't want to break them or anything like that. So a good thing is just to remove those, remove some of the plug wires as well, get everything out of the way. Because getting these headers out, although it's pretty easy, it's no small feat. A lot of angles, a lot of wiggling, a lot of finesse. A little bangity, 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 finally, haha. Last thing you want to do, there's a dipstick tube, and it runs right through the headers, and definitely no way to make that work out. But it's a single bolt, so you take the one bolt off, pops right out. There's an O-ring that goes right down into the pan area or the skirt of the block, either one. And with that O-ring there, you can just pop it right back in, put the hold down bolt, and you're set. Don't even need RTV on it. So we're gonna clean this guy out, leave maybe one fastener on each side, and get staged, lift the car up, and we can sneak her out. All right, doing the dance, doing the little header dance, the wiggle jiggle. Uh-oh, I think I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. Yeah, boy. Of course, I gave him the side with the starter. Well, come on over. I'll show you what we're gonna put on instead of these guys here. All right, let's check out our new exhaust system. Now, we've got everything from LG Motorsports. Now, if we look right off the bat, we're like, well, dude, this looks pretty much the same. Now, from a long tube header standpoint, yeah, they're both great. They have to go through the same sort of torturous path, so it's kind of going to dictate sort of the long tubeness. Now, that long tube is going to get you some tuning length, which is great. That's going to give you that big power curve, right? So you got tuning action, you're pulling in some fresh air, you're getting the old exhaust out, but you've also got some separation. So you've got exhaust pulses pulsing down, and if I had a shorty header or an exhaust manifold, I would just send this high pressure back up to another cylinder that might be on valve overlap. So I'm just pushing exhaust into another cylinder, taking up free space for cold air and fuel. So the long tube part is great, but there's some features on here that we really like. So check these out. Now on this end, the old one had this sort of bent up flange here and wasn't doing a good job at sealing. So we talked about that, you know what to look for, and this is a great way to put some things together is we've got a slip fit style kind of OE where you slide this guy on there, you put a nice high quality OE band clamp on it, good and sealed. So the other thing you want to notice is check out the collector region, right? In this one we've got 4 tubes kind of funneling into a large diameter pipe going out the back. But this one is kind of interesting. It seems to sort of neck down a little bit and then flare back up. Now let me show you the inside of that so you get an idea of what's actually happening. Oh yeah. So here's a cutaway. Now this is pretty cool. So we've got the 4 tubes coming in here, but if you look inside, normally instead of that cone, which is a nice sort of transition, there's just an empty sort of squarish, half roundy kind of shape, actually like this. Well, you open up into a full diameter, what you end up with is an expansion loss. So you got all these exhaust molecules just flowing in a nice straight line, going through the tube, and then when it hits that big open volume, thing just kind of go, oh, what's over there? Let me check that out.
Hang out for a minute.
You lost your momentum, and you got to gather back up again to get it shooting out the back.
I got a little experiment.
All right.
Okay.
I like science in the garage.
So all we have here is a couple hoses. Now this is a two flange header, if you will. So I'm going to show you what he's talking about, that expansion loss, and why you want something like this merge collector from LG Motorsports.
Give him a good shot of it, right?
All right.
So 2 tubes coming into a collector.
Yep.
right?
A bottle of water right
But
here.
we're gonna put one down in some water and shoot air up the other.
Now check this out. Little bit. But watch when he tightens it down and you don't have that expansion loss. All right, ready? Woo! All right, towel yourself off. All right.
So what's happening is, by shooting that air in there, it's got a high velocity air. By keeping this section, keeping that momentum, you got a high pressure going this way, and you're sort of pulling a vacuum or a low pressure, and it's actually lifting the water.
And what that's going to do is scavenge those burnt gases, right? It's going to pull those gases out of the cylinder, and that leaves you more room for more air, more fuel, better efficiency, and so forth.
Right. One cylinder fires, but creates a vacuum to pull the next one right behind it, and so forth and so forth. So everything's just kind of going like a little army.
Yeah.
Right out the
Go,
back
man,
where you
go.
want it to. So cool, man. You can do your cat, or if you're doing some off-road racing, they give you a section here to replace it, so you can pick which one. Dual 3-inch out the back, so this thing's going to be tight. It's going to sound good. It's going to perform even better than what we had in there to begin with.
Exactly, man. It's great stuff from LG Motorsports. Now, all we got to do is get it in there. So let's handle that. All right, now we're getting this LG Motorsports header exhaust system bolted in here. We got our O2 sensors out of our old headers. Now I'm gonna slide it up in here. It's always good to have a buddy. One on top, one on the bottom, kind of working, finessing the headers up and around everything you need to get this guy to fit in there. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, we are close, buddy. You're close. That just needs that, that little wiggle. Now, one thing you want to do, we got some little extensions for our O2 sensors because that got moved farther back. Well, we already had them on there, but you can see how they're routed. It's good things we got new ones because no good. Now these come with the OE multi-layer steel gasket, which is nice because it's a high quality piece. You can see the down, the manifold side. So I just need to orient it correctly. And then the trick is just getting that first fastener started. And then it just gets easier and easier from there, so.
Because you got this good help underneath, bro.
That's right, man, that's right. Yeah, trying to do a one-handed header install bolt start thing is not always so easy. And, yeah, it's definitely nice to have that guy down below being real nice and buying you the cold ones later on. Now, I'm just gonna get these fasteners in there. I got the dipstick to go back in as well. And from there, I think we're ready to fire this thing up.